AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musa. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Aaron Torres will talk some Will Wade portal stuff in about 15 minutes. Jay Clark in 1 hour. The LSU gymnastics squad looking to claim the program's second national title on Saturday. We'll talk to the top Tiger. Terrio will be here. A lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Baseball Tigers back at the box after 2 weekends away. Of course, they played at Tennessee, at Ole Miss. We know how it went. Miracle rally on Easter Sunday against Tennessee to take that series, and then swept right out of Oxford. The Tigers are at 6-9 in conference play. We've all litigated this plenty. We all know the drill. They were 3-12 at this point 2 years ago. They ended up going 10-5 in the second half. Lots can happen. I think we all have eyes now as we've sort of recalibrated this team's expectations on what does it take to make the NCAA tournament, right, to get in. The expectation when you were preseason number 1 or 2 was be a national seed and go to Omaha. Well, when it started the way it did, it became very clear that being a national seed was not going to be likely. So what would it take to be a host? And we kind of gave Tennessee from a year ago as the example. That was 16-14 in the conference, and still ended up a host. Well, you're at the halfway point at 6-9. Getting to 16 wins feels unlikely. So the question is, how do you get in? Well, Jay Johnson, when he met with reporters on Thursday before this series, was asked what they need to do to be an NCAA tournament team, and he didn't exactly look at the RPI and wins and losses.
We need to play better baseball. Like, I know that's simplistic, but you can't make the first or third out of the inning at third base, which we've probably done 6 to 8 times this year. You know, catch a ground ball on the right side, throw it to the first baseman, and the first baseman catch it. You know, get a 2-out hit. So it's 1,000% about the play. You pitch well, you defend, and timely or situational hitting is good. This team's won games when it's done that, and just haven't done it enough. And I think there's plenty of better baseball in us. It's just the opponent's going to make it hard, so it's our job to do it.
They've beaten good teams too. They've struggled with aces. We know that much. Ole Miss, Kentucky, like they've struggled against other teams, aces. The good news with respect to this weekend is Texas A&M is 13th in the conference in staff ERA. On the mound, LSU and A&M are going to take kind of a similar approach. Shane Sadeo, who's going to go tonight on Friday here for A&M, he's got an ERA of 5.77. He's 3-2 on the season. He's a good pitcher. He's a lefty. But this isn't something where you think offensively you're going to be overwhelmed. This is a gettable game, but you need Case and Evans to look like the Case and Evans he has in spots this year. I'm not suggesting Case and Evans needs to go strike out 15, but he needs to get you deep into a ball game and limit A&M's offensive output. That's easier said than done. We talked about Kentucky just a bit ago when Evans had a really tough start to that game, steadied himself, but then it was a giant opportunity for Schmidt the next day, and Schmidt was awesome and got you a win. So I could see something similar in this weekend as far as the approach to the weekend. But, as we talk about the NCAA tournament, and I know Kendall was here yesterday, Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball, and his feeling was, as we asked about the 13 wins is sort of that benchmark. 13 wins typically get you in the NCAA tournament from the SEC, 13 SEC wins. And his point was, well, LSU's RPI is low. That's true. But you have 5 weekends left in conference. And you're going to play 3 games against Florida. They're 4th in the RPI. You're going to play 3 games this weekend against Texas A&M. They're 13th in the RPI. You're going to play 3 games against Georgia. That's on the road, but they're 20th in the RPI. You're going to play 3 games against Mississippi State on the road. They're 22nd in the RPI. So 12 of your 15 remaining conference games are against teams in the top 22 of the RPI. All that to say, if the wins come, the RPI will follow. Like, win a series against Texas A&M, who's number 13 in the RPI, your RPI is going to look a lot different when we come back here on Monday. So I'm not so much concerned about LSU's RPI right now, which is at 65. Because if you do what you need to do in conference play, the RPI will follow. If you don't win enough games in conference play, it don't matter what your RPI is anyway. Well, how do you win conference games? You do the things that Jay Johnson just said. Don't make the first or third out of the inning at third base. Just ground ball to the right side, field it, and throw the guy out. Don't walk hitters. It's a scary proposition for LSU because they haven't fielded well. There are very clear advantages that Texas A&M have in this series, and their defense is one of them. I mean, you field over 980, you're a sterling defensive team. LSU is the worst defensive team in the conference. And even if they piece together good innings, that one blow-up inning always seems to be lurking, where that game against Bethune-Cookman last Tuesday, the 7th inning, you hit 2 guys, you walk 2 with the bases loaded, you commit an error that allows 2 runs to score when a ball gets through your second baseman. Like the blow-up inning against Ole Miss this past weekend. I mean, those are the types of things that have happened. It was the 8th on Friday against Ole Miss. Those are the types of things that have happened to this team all too often, which is why the wins haven't followed. So my hope for this weekend, is you have a situation where it's the spot on the schedule, where the box is the box. It is full. It is rocking. It makes it very hard on the opponent. You have a desperate LSU team that just got swept on the road, now coming home for the first time after 2 weekends on the road, and an A&M team that has got to be sky high. I mean, Schlossnagle coming back to College Station for the first time with Texas last weekend. That was a fever pitch. What an environment. And the Aggies won the 2 games they played. The Sunday game was canceled due to weather. But maybe a spot that's a letdown. We talk about it all the time. When Jimmy comes on here and gives picks, the field storm fade or the court storm fade in basketball, like when a team has an emotional win like that, you fade them the next time out. So maybe this is one of those situations where the spot on the schedule might benefit LSU against a team that quite honestly is better than they are right now. But there's a 3-headed monster in that Texas A&M lineup. You got to make sure that they don't beat you. Easier said than done. But Casey Evans, Jay Johnson said he's one of the best pitchers in the country. Here's a great opportunity to go prove it against one of the best lineups in the country. It's great theater. It's why we watch. It's LSU and Texas A&M. Game 1 tonight, 6 p.m. out there at the box. I'll be in that number. Looking forward to being there at the box tonight. Hopefully see a great win for Jay Johnson's Tigers as they hopefully get the second half of conference play kicked off with a big win against the Aggies. 6 o'clock, first pitch tonight with the Tigers and Texas A&M. We'll talk more about it with Terrio when he's here next hour. Jay Clark is going to join us in 50 minutes, right at the top of hour number 2. We had a brief window because Coach has an engagement with LSU fans, and then they have a team meeting there in Fort Worth as well. So LSU Gymnastics competing for the program's second national championship tomorrow in Fort Worth. We'll chat with Jay Clark less than an hour from right now. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. the official beer, your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Today's the last day, y'all. In less than 2 hours, we're going to announce our final winner of the Purple, Gold, and Cold giveaway. Shout out to our friends at Mockler Beverage. They put up a case of those LSU aluminum bottles, the Bud Light LSU baseball jersey, which is fire if you haven't seen it, the National Championship koozies. Alonzo threw in some 104.5 ESPN swag as well. So we had 5 prize packs. We've given away 4. We'll have our final winner today coming up at the top of hour number 3 at 5 o'clock Central. So you want to enter. It's easy. Just text Drink Easy to 225-499-1045, 499-1045, 499-1045. Text Drink Easy to 225-499-1045 to enter. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Aaron Torres will join us next. A lot of y'all have asked, hey, man, what's up with Will Wade, the transfer portal? Well, let's see if we can get some answers. We'll do it next on AFR.
AFR.
The weekend is here. You better believe I will be spending part of my weekend in my pool. Man, if that's a dream that you have, make that dream a reality. Stop dreaming about it. Do something. Duplessis Pools can make that happen. My buddy Derek Duplessis, who I've told you about for years now on the show, background in mechanical engineering, decided wanted to build pools. His sister wanted a pool. He's like, I think I can do that. Built her pool that first year, built 8 pools. Now, one of the fastest growing pool companies in the entire Southeast, a top 50 pool builder in America last year, according to Pool and Spa magazine. They're going to build you a beautiful pool that lasts, and it's affordable. Now, you want that gorgeous resort-style custom pool with all the bells and whistles, zings, bangs, booms. They got all that for you. But they also have designs, 11 different designs on the homepage you can go check out, and you can start working it out right now on your finishes, starting as low as $47,000. DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Basketball portal's been open for 10 days. LSU has seen quite literally every player of its roster leave, and they've yet to add anybody. So what gives? Let's ask Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio, also the host of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. Yo, man, how are you?
My man, I'm really well. Glad we can do this. I know you've seen the social media chatter, but I have a great deal of respect for how you cover that beat, man. And, I really got to say, like, as somebody in this business, there's so many people that are just afraid to put their name on something. And I really admired watching from a distance, you sticking out your chest saying Lane Kiffin is about to be an LSU Tiger, and you stood by it for weeks on weeks on weeks, man. So it was fun to watch that story evolve, and you be 2 steps ahead every step of the way. And, I'd like to tell you that I'm 2 steps ahead on the LSU basketball portal stuff, but I don't know that I have a great answer to what's going on right now. But other than that, I'm good, man.
Let's say that's very kind of you, by the way. Thank you. But let's just say I had more than a hunch on all the Kiffin stuff all the way along the way. Okay,
but that's what I mean, though. That's what I mean, though, is everybody in this business wants to couch it with the this and the that and da-da-da. And, like I said, you said it with your chest, man. And, we need more people in this business that aren't afraid of, hey, I'm going to say something, put my name on it, and, there was no blowback for you to be had. But, I don't know. I think that everybody now wants to, I don't know. Anyway, we could talk LSU basketball. But enough, flower handing out here. But anyway, go ahead.
Ole Miss and Florida fans disagree with you, by the way. They have not forgotten about all the flack that is to be had, even though I was right. Anyway, all right, yeah. Aaron Torres with us. Okay, so give me your best guess. What's going on with LSU? Why haven't they added anybody?
Well, listen, first of all, I think, and this is a basketball, it was funny. I was talking to a buddy of yours, Ryan Fowler, the other day in Tuscaloosa, and he said, Torres, is the basketball portal just seems way different than the football portal. And what I said is there's just so few difference makers. They come off the board early, and then it drives up the price on everybody else. And so it's just so it becomes this thing of now, again, this is how you go into a spring thinking you're going to spend X, Y, Z on your roster, and you end up having to spend more. But I just think that's where it is Will Wade gets there, a couple of days before the portal opens. I think it was that Monday or Tuesday,
Yep.
Probably about 7 days before the portal
Yep.
opens. He's got to get the whole, he's got to do the press conference, get his whole staff together, get everybody moved, this and that. and then the portal opens and it's full speed ahead. And so I don't really have a great answer. I do have, 10 years, 15 years of a track record of when the games get tipped in November, Will Wade has a team good enough to make a tournament, whether it's at McNeese, NC State, LSU, VCU, wherever. But I am a little bit surprised. And I think, obviously, if you had asked me the day he took the job that, he'd be one of the last guys to really land anybody out of the portal, I wouldn't have believed it. But here we are on whatever it is, April 17th, and LSU still looking for that first commit.
Let me ask about a specific player. I want to ask you about Alan Graves, who people around here know. He's from Louisiana. His brother played at LSU. For those that don't know, Santa Clara, freshman player of the year in the conference, hit the big shot against Kentucky. He's declared for the draft, but he's also entered the portal. It's either apparently NBA, Duke, or LSU. What can you tell us?
A really good player, and it's one, and you know this, Matt, is that especially a player like that at that level, you start to hear in like February of like, oh, if he doesn't go to the NBA draft, he's going to be very in demand, and it's probably not realistic to expect him in Santa Clara next year. Really good player. I'll be honest, I don't see a first-round pick right now. Doesn't mean that he will stay. That doesn't mean that he's definitely coming back. Doesn't mean that I'm right. But I think he's a guy that would translate pretty easily to the high major level, and I think could play himself into a very good, an NBA draft prospect next year and probably be drafted higher. Long story short, he's about 6'9". I think, I think the thing is, and this isn't like the sexiest thing to talk about when it comes to portal evaluations, is really good, 6'9", can stretch the floor, hit threes, play down low. He can do all that offensively, but he can really probably guard about 4 positions as well. And I think that's probably a little bit of the underrated part of why the NBA people like him so much, is because he's one of those versatile guys that can really contribute on both ends of the court. So, I was told back in, before the portal even opened that he's going to see this NBA draft process through. But the one thing I would say, and I say it for a lot of these kids, is that this specific NBA draft is so good, and I think the notion of like getting guarantees in the NBA draft is much more rarer than maybe people make it out to be. And so I think, he's going to be in a situation where he's probably somewhere in the back half of the first round. We know what a premium player can get coming back to college basketball, and so I don't know what his ambitions are. But, he strikes me as the kind of player that probably comes back to college. Let me put it this way, probably isn't going to get the guarantee that he wants that makes it a no doubt about it goes to the NBA.
Would you believe a $4 million price tag?
I will tell you that I had somebody tell me, the person who told me 3 weeks before the portal opened that he was going to enter the portal, threw out a $4 million number on him. Again, it's all, you know how this works. It's all conjecture and speculation. But I will say I think that is what premium players in this portal cycle are going for. I would consider him a premium player, especially now that so many are off the board. And so I don't think that is a crazy number to attach to his name. And that is actually the number that I heard, 3-4 weeks ago.
Weird. You and I heard the same number.
Whoa!
How about that?
I actually got that information from you. I'm just gonna. No, I'm kidding. No.
At Aaron_Torres, where you get him on Twitter, Fox Sports Radio. Okay, if you're Will Wade and you're built Aaron, Jalen Reese went in the portal today, so there are literally no players on the roster, like literally zero. So, would you start with a position, or would you be player specific right now if you're Will Wade?
So, I think, I'm always of the belief, and I think most schools operate this way, is like you figure out who that dude is, who like the star dude is, and then you try to build a roster around him. A couple things on that is that, one, that doesn't preclude you necessarily from taking other players or, hypothetical role players. It was funny earlier this week, Arkansas took this kid out of Furman that, averaged like, 9, I think he was like 11-7 or something. And Arkansas fans were like, this is it. This is the guy. And it's like, no, just because everybody else is trying to take those premium players doesn't mean you have to. But yeah, no, I think in a perfect world, you get the guy that you're building around. The thing I will say, and I hadn't really thought about it until I came on right now, like, it is worth noting, and I know a lot of LSU fans probably tangentially followed Coach Wade last year at NC State, but maybe not super closely. You know, the guy that he really targeted in the portal, he was one of those guys, Coach Wade, that really waited until the end and basically never rushed. You know, I mean, the term that he used last year, I don't know if he said it in Baton Rouge this year, is, you know, measure twice, cut once. And basically, you know, there was a lot that went into every player that he took. But I bring it up because the best player that he took out of the portal, Darion Williams, was a player like Alan Graves, who tested the NBA draft waters and didn't even commit to coming back to play college basketball, frankly, until I think it was like mid to late May once he officially said, I'm coming back, or maybe it was late May when he committed. But the point I'm trying to make is some of those premium players, they really are testing that NBA draft process, and that could go until about the middle of May. Now, you clearly are not going to wait until the middle of May to take anyone. But again, whether it's Alan Graves, whether it's somebody else that maybe isn't on our radar at this specific second, some of those elite premium players that are in the NBA draft process, it really might take another 3 or 4 weeks for them to make their ultimate decision.
You said when we were starting that for the last decade at a handful of different stops, every year in March, Will Wade's playing relevant games generally in the tournament. There are no players on LSU's roster right now. Do you think LSU will be an NCAA tournament team next season?
I mean, listen, you know.
Put your chest out there. Come on, Aaron.
Yeah, there it is. All right, listen, I'm putting it out right now. You and I on the LSU Mount Rushmore. You've got all the scoop on football. I'm calling an NCAA tournament bid in basketball. I don't know who gets to take credit in women's basketball and is going to say something crazy about Kim Mulkey's team. But, no, listen, in all seriousness, again, 15 years of a track record that he will figure it out. I think the other thing, too, and to kind of indirectly answer your question, I mean, there's a lot of other teams in the SEC that have question marks right now, too. You know, Kentucky could not run out a starting five right now. Let me put it to you that way. Alabama, I mean, Google what their best player is going through right now, if you have not seen. You know what I'm saying? Like there's still a lot of questions to be asked. And so I understand the LSU fan that I don't know if worry is the right word, but is more eager to get somebody on board, and probably more than one person. But again, Kentucky has maybe 4 guys committed for next year. Alabama certainly got questions. You know, Tennessee, I was looking at they've taken a lot of guys in the portal, but they really don't return anybody. And so, yes, to answer your question, I think that by the time the games tip off in November, Will Wade will have a team good enough to make the tournament and will ultimately be one of, you know, I don't know if it'll be 68 or 72 or 76 teams. I think LSU will be one of those teams called next March.
Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio. Hey, before you go, just maybe a general thought on Wade's return to LSU since we haven't had a chance to talk about it. What do you think?
So, you know, what I would say is a couple things. One, I've known Coach Wade for years. I've always liked him. And I actually, you know, about a year ago spoke on a panel with Heath Schroyer, who is obviously, you know, now you could correct me, but second in charge of the entire LSU athletic department. And so, you know, I spoke on a panel with Heath when Coach Wade was still at McNeese, and I know the relationship that they had. And, you know, it's funny, I was talking to somebody about this morning, is I don't know if Coach Wade cares about the pushback, whatever. The only thing, if I had been advising him, is I would have, I think, made it more publicly clear, hey, these two guys, you know, the school president and Heath Schroyer, you know, they gave me a chance when nobody else would. And I don't know if that's the only reason he came back to LSU, but I think if he had said, listen, these guys gave me a chance when no one else would, I feel indebted to them. It's time to go home. I think it plays differently. I'm not sure that there's any way that you can do it totally cleanly, but I just bring it up because, you know, like I said, maybe I, more than most people outside of Louisiana, understand the relationship that Will Wade had with those two gentlemen in specific. So I didn't really care, but it certainly made waves in the manner that it happened about 2-3 weeks ago. So
before I came on, I just did a hit with Ryan Fowler in Tuscaloosa. He kept me on the phone for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, that's his thing. First of all, he called me because I was supposed to come on with you on Wednesday, and I usually go on with him Wednesdays. So he did say, "Oh, tell Matt, can't wait to make my next trip to Bryant Denny West." So that was a direct quote from him.
Okay.
And then what was the other thing he wanted me to pass on? I can't. Oh, we did. Yeah. Ryan, once you get him talking, we can't stop. And we actually, on Tuscaloosa Radio about 3 days ago, did about a half an hour on Lane Kiffin and just expectations, what's fair, what's not, and, all the stuff that you talk about on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, once you get him talking, it's hard to get him to stop. So, and he's one of those guys too, like he doesn't respect the traditional radio break structure.
The clock.
Yeah. And so it'll just be, 12:54 or whatever, 2:54, and I'll be like, I think I need to go. It's like, no, we'll take it up to the top of the hour. I'm like, I don't think that's how this business works, but so whatever you say, bud.
Yep. Somehow our meandering conversation landed with him saying that Lane Kiffin, his dream job was Alabama, and that he wasn't leaving Ole Miss for anywhere else because an Ole Miss person told him that. It was like, but he did leave for somewhere else. No, but at the time, I'm like, well, then it wasn't his only option going to Alabama.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, no,
Ryan's a beauty.
That sounds like. Yeah, I will say very quickly, and if you have to run, cut me off. The parallels between the Kentucky basketball fan that hasn't fully wrapped their head around their, standing in the pecking order with like the state of Alabama football going into this year. Like there's a lot of parallels. And like, that's the perfect example of every single person on the planet wanted to replace Nick Saban until it was actually time to replace Nick Saban. That's all I'm saying. So.
We'll just run it right up to the top of the hour, Aaron. Aaron Torres, he's on Twitter.
Do it every week in Tuscaloosa. Why not?
At Aaron_Torres, Fox Sports Radio. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, we'll do it again soon, Matt. Thank you.
Have a great weekend. It's After Further Review. We are brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Weekend's upon us. You want some crawfish? Get on by Rouse's, y'all. They got a hot bowl of crawfish every single day at their own in-house boiling rooms. It's fresh every day. It's hot every day. It's at every single Rouse's. It's already bagged and tagged. So you don't have to call ahead. Hey, can I get 7 pounds? You walk in, you go to their hot and boiled kiosk, you grab a bag of the crawfish, it's bag tagged, you go to the checkout counter, you're done. You're on your way home. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. You can always download the Rouse's app. Your personal shopper can go pick out your items for you. You pull up into one of the designated spots. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. You're on your way. It's Rouse's. Find the location nearest you. Get the weekly specials online or on the app. Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. 30 minutes from right now, Jay Clark's going to join us from Fort Worth as the Tigers try to win their second gymnastics national championship tomorrow. We appreciate Jay for making a few minutes. Ryan Terrio will be here with us. So we'll do all the stuff, Ryan's letter and kick rocks and all that sort of stuff. But we have a very small window to get Jay in, so we're going to do that. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air. Weekend's upon us, but no sweat. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, literally, no sweat. Don't get stuck inside hot with no AC. Call River City's 1 Hour Air because they work nights and weekends. If you call them nights and weekends, they'll come out. They're not going to charge you extra. I've told you before, a couple of years ago, it was an Easter Sunday. We're at a family crawfish bowl. We got home. AC was out. Called about 5:30. Called River City's 1 Hour Air. Boom. Had a technician at our house within an hour. 752-0001. Preseason AC tune-up. Get this done if you haven't done it yet. If you're having issues with your AC, look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Breaking news. We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. First, breaking news. Dang it. Paul, you got to get this. It's annoying. I hate everything. Sometimes I hate everything. Sometimes I hate everything. You have this? Thank you. Stupid Microsoft Surface. Stupid. Kill that mute. Start that over. We're going to do this right. Kill it. Kill it. All right, here we go. You got to wait for the whole thing to end? That's stupid.
Well, no, it just has to fade out a little bit. It's got a little tail to it that needs to, every time you turn it off, it has a tail to it.
Breaking news. Lane Train has a new member, a new passenger on the Lane Train. Four-star wide receiver Amari Stevens has committed to LSU. Hayes Fawcett with the report. 6 foot, 170-pounder from Fort Myers, Florida. He is formerly committed to Miami. So flip here for LSU after he had been committed to Miami and now committed to LSU. I was told that he was on campus this week. My buddy Shelly over at Rufino's told me that they had Amari Stevens in last night with George McDonald, some of the coaches. So got him a good meal and got him committed. So Amari Stevens now the third commitment for LSU's 2027 class. So he joins Jaden Bryant, the edge out of South Carolina, Peyton Houston, the quarterback out of Evangel, and now Amari Stevens, the wide receiver, the 4-star out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He, if you look at the deets on him, he is 6 foot, 170. He is the number 275 player in the country in the Rivals rankings, the 39th best wide receiver. And it's a guy that clearly Lane Kiffin and his staff had identified as someone they wanted. We talk about it often. Less about star rating ranking, more about who offered. LSU, Miami, Texas, Florida, Auburn, A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida State, Ole Miss, Indiana, Missouri, Mississippi State, Pitt, Purdue, West Virginia, Arkansas, Maryland, Illinois. You get it. Everybody. So big-time prospect. A lot of people wanted. Lane Kiffin successfully flips the Florida kid from Florida to LSU. Hat tip to George McDonald and the receiver staff over there that got it done. All right, it is After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthLand.com. They're first in agriculture. They've been first in agriculture for more than 100 years. It's incredible. 110 years since they opened up their doors. If you're a farmer, you know all about First South Farm Credit. They can help you buy the 1,000 acres for agriculture. You can even help you finance your farm equipment if you need it. But maybe you're just at a point in your life where you work really hard and you deserve that play property, that hunting camp in Texas, that recreational spot in Mississippi, whatever it may be. First South Farm Credit can help you buy it. 100 acres to build your family's dream home. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com for First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Oklahoma Sooners.
District Judge has granted Oklahoma linebacker Owen Heineke a preliminary injunction. Former walk-on has now got an additional year of eligibility for 2026. Career special teamer emerged as a starter for OU a year ago, was the second leading tackler on the nation's number 3 run defense. Heineke back for another year.
The Texas Longhorns.
Michigan State's transfer linebacker Darius Snow, has committed to Texas. NACO's had it first. He'll be a 7th-year senior. 12 appearances, 3 starts for Michigan State last season with 34 tackles.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
NC State small forward Cole Clower has committed to Alabama, transferring obviously from NC State where Will Wade was to Alabama. 6'7", 190-pounder. Entered the portal when Will Wade left. Now he's headed to Alabama. He's the number 27 prospect. He was the number 27 prospect in the class of 26.
The Auburn Tigers.
Santa Clara center Bucky Oboye has signed with Auburn. 7'1" center, dunking machine. He led all of college basketball this last year in 2-point percentage. It's easy, right by the rim. 8 points, 4 boards a game. He's Auburn's first portal addition.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
4-star running back Christian Alexander has committed to Mississippi State, the number 222 overall prospect, the 12th best running back in the country for 2027, the number 8 recruit in the state of Mississippi. He's the highest ranked commit in state's class right now.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And one baseball note, Stone Lawless is available for Tennessee baseball this weekend in their series against Ole Miss. Remember a scary moment a couple of weeks ago where he was hit in the face. Took live at-bats with the team on Thursday and missed the LSU series, you might recall, but is ready to return this week for their series against Ole Miss. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Friday shows brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. LSU gymnastics coach Jay Clark in 18 minutes from right now. New member of the Guarantee family is going to join us in studio next. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. They refer to Southtown as that area right there on Bluebonnet near I-10, which is where you'll find the Renaissance. It's kind of between the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row on the other side of the street. But, I mean, if you've driven down Bluebonnet, you know where Renaissance Baton Rouge is. What you may not know is what's inside. Of course, all the amenities, the beautiful guest rooms, and everything you'd want for your stay. So if you have family or clients or whatever coming in from out of town, or maybe it's you're coming in for a football game, you're planning that for the fall already, book at Renaissance Baton Rouge, easy access to I-10, get you right down to LSU's campus, simple. But they're also a great place to host any event. It doesn't matter if it's their grand ballroom for up to 500 people, their intimate boardrooms for a dozen people where they have all the internet and connectivity you need for all the technology. They can even have your meals for your board meeting in the boardrooms as well. It's perfect for a wedding reception, a fundraiser, any type of event. It's right there at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
LSU, Texas A&M tonight. We'll have some first-timers at the box. Woody and Gina from The Woody Show, new morning show on Eagle 98.1, our sister station. They'll be at the box for the first time. They join us in studio now. Folks, how are you?
You got a nice studio, man. This is way nicer. We did the show this morning from a hotel room. And
literally. From a kitchenette.
You weren't even in here this morning, so we could have easily used this room. This would have done just fine.
This would have been beautiful.
This would have done fine.
I wasn't here this morning. Our morning show, however, was from 7 to 10, and they probably would not have been very keen on sharing the space.
We can just use a little corner.
Yeah, right. We don't take up much room.
How many of you are there?
I mean, for the whole staff for the show, about 11.
Yeah,
that's way bigger than my staff. I just had Moose and Paulie, and I just yell. And I just yell at Musso all the time.
But when all you need,
that's fewer people to yell at.
Can't confirm.
Paul, is that fair, Paul?
No, not
See,
at all.
thank you. That's what I'm talking about. See, Musso just complains all the time, and we all just understand that's what it is. Well, welcome to Baton Rouge. So give us the deets, the skinny for those who aren't familiar with the Woody Show.
Well, it's a radio show, and radios transmit signals from like a radio.
you hear
tower.
it.
Yeah.
You know what?
In your ears.
And then we're on in the
Heard of
morning.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when people wake up, morning time as the sun is rising from the east, that's when we're on the air.
So time?
It depends. But here we start. I think we're going to start an hour earlier because they just can't get enough of us already.
Yeah.
so much.
Got to give the people what they want.
For right now, it's 6 to 10.
6 to 10.
Look, the show is just basically me and a bunch of friends because I've gotten to hire my own people. So a lot of times in radio, you get assigned. It's like an arranged marriage, where you're going to work with this person.
Like Musso.
Yeah.
Poor Musso got stuck with me.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
And then you guys got to sit here and pretend like you're best friends and you hang out all the time. Whereas like I actually got to hire people that I knew and that I was friends with and I felt would fill a role properly. So, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of, comfort between the people. So like, you can break balls with people differently when you're friends with somebody. Like when dudes hang out, like that's different than, how, and even the way women talk to each other. I hear you guys, the way you guys talk to each other.
Gina, is that fair?
It's super fair.
I've heard her and my wife hang out.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But I don't have to do that with him.
Was that a real high or a fake high?
Well, with her, I mean, our greeting's a little dirty, but in general,
Not
with girls, like,
Matt, don't open that box.
Yeah.
You don't want to open that box.
I don't know, Woody. I think I want to open that box. I mean, this feels like
you might.
She's awesome.
As a radio guy, this feels like
Yeah.
exactly the path that we should be following right now.
It is.
All right, so
It is, but like maybe off the air.
Yeah, she's
or
awesome
on a
and hot.
podcast.
Yeah,
you can do
for
that on a
sure.
pod. You can have that conversation on a podcast,
Yeah.
not over the actual air.
Does the FCC really listen? I don't know.
I don't think
We're
they
just
do.
in Baton Rouge.
Not anymore.
They don't listen anymore.
Not anymore.
Woody and Gina from the Woody Show were in town with us. So y'all are in town. Got here yesterday. What have you done?
Pretty much worked. Yeah, we went out to a dinner last night. Got
That
to
was
meet some
fun.
people from the station. Then woke up super early this morning. Did the show from not the studio. And then I went and grabbed some food. And we came back and we had a meeting here at the radio station with some. It's business, man.
Well, yeah, but
It's
not
business,
just
but tonight we're going to the games.
yeah, and not just food. Tell them what you got.
Oh, I got some jambalaya and some gumbo because
Lucky.
I obviously have to do the tour. You don't.
Where did they go to get jambalaya and gumbo?
It was called Rice and Roux.
Okay.
It's,
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah, that's awesome.
That place is really good. And the people there were super nice. I got the sampler. They just make it my mission to make sure. I asked a couple people and they told me about that place. So I went over there and patronized that place.
The good thing about going to eat here, and really when I say here, I mean kind of anywhere in Louisiana, is you're just not going to miss.
Right.
Like we do food really well.
It's a food town.
We don't do like education and public
Sure.
safety and roads.
Yeah.
We do food and booze and parties
Yeah.
really well.
You know
Everybody's
what?
good
Know
at something.
thyself. Yeah.
Yes. And we're proud of it. And we like it that way.
That's right. Everybody's good at something.
We are
You got
that.
to focus.
We're good at humidity as well.
Yep,
Hey,
yep.
You're
My
here for
skin
that?
feels dewy. I love it.
Canes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right? Canes does chicken tenders. They do fingers better than anybody, but it's one thing.
Know thyself.
Yeah.
The original Canes.
Yeah,
Right. Y'all
right.
could. We're 2 minutes from
Oh,
the
yeah.
original Canes.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
of course.
so cool.
Like you
No,
should-
we love those guys. We actually do a lot of work with those guys
yeah.
too.
You told me you had a Terminator cane in studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
It's like silver. It looks like it's from the
Yeah.
future.
It's the big dog, but
Yeah.
it's all silver.
Get you one.
Can we get Aaron on the phone? Because I would really like if they get a silver
Yeah.
Terminator cane, I want a silver Terminator cane.
It's only fair.
It feels that way. Look, they're our studio
Yeah.
sponsor. We love Raising Canes. Love
Yeah.
Todd. Love Aaron. Love them all over there. They're fantastic. Okay, baseball game tonight.
Yes.
LSU, Texas A&M. Are you all sports fans?
Yes, I am a sports fan. Gina has a really interesting history with sports because her dad is a legendary sportscaster.
Okay.
And so she grew up very much in the sports, environment.
Correct.
But she absorbed none of it.
Zero.
None of it.
And when I
You are my wife,
Yeah.
Gina. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
let's do this.
Like-
when I would call my dad and say, like, Dad, okay, I'm watching this thing, and what does it mean when? Blah, blah. And instead of getting an answer, he'd go, "Oh, Angel, that's why I had a boy and a girl."
So good.
Click.
Click. Hang up. No, but like, so the only thing that my wife really knows or cares about with sports is that Travis Kelce plays for the Chiefs because
Sure.
he's marrying Taylor Swift. Like that's about
Understood.
it.
But is that where her
Get it.
fandom started with the Taylor Swift relationship?
Oh yeah.
Or did she
She
know-
wouldn't even know there was a team called the Chiefs in Kansas
All right.
City before
Yeah.
that.
But
That's
you know
fair
what?
enough.
God bless that couple and their relationship for bringing all these women into the sport.
I'm for it.
Why not?
I'm here for it. Look, I went to the Eras Tour. It was one of the best shows
You
I've ever been to.
did?
One of the best shows I've ever been to.
Okay.
Been to a million shows. She's awesome. She's like, I mean, it was a phenomenal presentation. The theater was incredible. I
Yeah,
watched
she's
that
an
whole thing.
unbelievable performer,
Yeah,
right?
it was amazing.
I'll give it to her. It's annoyingly catchy.
Oh, very. Oh my God.
I'm here for it. I'm here
But-
for all of it.
I understand baseball. I like baseball, so this is going to be really fun.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just as long as she doesn't sit and ask a bunch of questions. It'll
I
be fine.
won't. That's only football.
Well, I think we also get you good seats, and as I mentioned before, we do food and booze. So
Yeah.
even if you're not locked into the game, you'll
Done.
have food and booze, and
Done.
that'll be really fun.
And it's a Friday. I don't have to wake up super early and do a
yes.
radio show from a hotel room tomorrow morning. So I'm free and clear.
Woody, you got your Dodger cap on. Are you a Dodger fan, or is it just you like the cap?
No, okay. So the story is, I actually had on a different team, different league hat. I had a Steelers hat on. I'm from Pittsburgh originally.
Okay.
So I had a Steelers hat on, and the front office folks from the LA Dodgers were in the office, and they go, "What's with the hat?" And I go, "Well," I said, "if you move to Pittsburgh, are you going to put on a Steelers hat, or are you going to still rock whatever?" I go, "No, okay, that's fine." So a couple days later, I walk in my office, and the Dodgers had sent over this giant box, one of every hat that they sell, and it said pick one. And so I grabbed a couple of them. I like this murdered out black on black deal, and I figured it's great because LA also
Yeah.
can be Louisiana. I don't know if
LA
you know
to
that or
LA,
not.
yeah.
So so I like this look, and then I gave out the other caps to people in the office.
Pick one.
Yeah,
I'm not
pick one.
I'm not picking one, sir. You sent me this box. I'm picking
Thank
them
you.
all. I'm wearing
Thank
them all
you.
in
Well,
rotation.
there's
It's
some
like
I
me and
can't pull off.
sneakers. I wear a different pair of sneakers every day of my life. I'm not picking one.
But can you pull off there? Because the big style now with the hats, I like these 3930s. These new era 3930s. Those are the good hats. Like some of this, the 940, like that straight brim
Straight
stuff.
bill, yeah.
I'm too old and too white to pull that off. I can't do it. It doesn't work. It's like you can pull off the shaved head thing.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do it. I got a weird head for it. My head's too big.
How do you feel about
it? You look good with it.
Thank you. How do you feel about a rope hat?
No, I'm not a fan of a rope hat. Rope hat. I think the trucker hats look cool when I see them like on a website, but I can't pull it off.
All right, guys.
Same kind of thing.
We got about 30 seconds. Give me a prediction for LSU and Texas A&M, and you can say pain like
Go ahead, Gina.
like Drago. That'd be good.
Go ahead.
Can I give you the spread? Do we do that in this
Sure.
sport?
Yeah, I could find the. But the folks that are hosting you at the game tonight did in fact say we have food and booze. So, so you're good. Woody Show. It's Gina. You'll catch them every weekday morning on our sister station, Eagle 98.1, 6 to 10. That's also where you will hear Tigers and Aggies in every LSU baseball game this weekend and throughout the remainder of the season. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Sure.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Hour 2 next.
Look at you stand on
After further review.
Brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com. We talk all the time about Generac home standby generators, right? We're in the storm belt and storms come through, they knock power out, and that sucks. So you want a generator. Well, we all know you have those opportunities for your house. What about for your business? That's Arco. This is not generators for your home. This is generators for your business. What business doesn't matter? Hospitals, schools, gas stations, industrial facilities, municipalities, banks, anything. Broadcast studios. If you have a business and you wonder what happens to your business when the power goes out, Arco Power Systems. Everything's turnkey. They can sell, service, install, rent that generator so the power goes out. They can even house the generator at their lot, at their yard. They'll bring it to you, or you can come get it on a trailer whenever the power goes out, if that's more convenient. They have options. North to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio. Draw a giant circle anywhere in that footprint. That's Arco. ARCCO, Arco.com.